Wolves, unlike most mammals, they usually stay with the same mate year after year, raising pups and living their life together. Unless, of course, fate intervenes. Maybe it's a grizzly bear or a pack of stranger wolves who really want that carcass. Maybe it's just the lack of food and starvation. And maybe it's just that two wolves like to play a game of chicken with some cranky old bull bison. So a wolf can die anytime in the real world and life goes on. And now it goes on in Slough Creek as well. We've always had this in Amethyst, but in Slough Creek the game would end if your mate died. But now in the next patch, if you have mate permadeath on, your mate can die, and the game goes on. Let's see how that works. Here I'm playing chicken with these bison bulls and basically trying to get my mate killed. Which actually, is easier said than done. My mate Owl here, and thanks to the beta tester who donated this save game that I could be playing this. My mate Owl is very, very low on health, but is still quite good at dodging the bison and not getting herself killed. So it's going to take a little bit of work. This reminds me, a couple weeks ago I heard on a podcast that in the late 19th century when rat poison was commercialized, the death rate for married men went up noticeably. But lacking that, we'll just have to turn to death by bison. Okay, there we go, finally. I'm sorry, Owl. Really sorry about that, but it's for the greater good. But this old bison is not letting me go up and pay my last respects to poor old Owl. And now it's time to find a new mate. I know this is quick, and maybe you would want to have time to grieve. But this all comes from our conversations with our experts, specifically Dan Staler, wolf biologist at Yellowstone National Park, who said that wolves will go out and find a new mate if their mate dies. And Dan and another of our advisors, Dan McNulty, along with Doug Smith, the head of the Yellowstone Wolf Project, have just published a book. It's an amazing undertaking, and basically it pulls together and distills 25 years of research into wolves of Yellowstone. And we've got a couple copies now, so we've got it handy for reference for whatever we need to look up, and I highly recommend it. And so we looked this up, and yes, it confirms that if a wolf loses its mate, it will go find a new one, and sometimes within a matter of days. So you can keep on grieving even as you look for a new mate, because you head back to the rendezvous site here, and there's a lot of hungry mouths to feed, and I just don't know if I'm up to doing this by myself. Now, of course, you can always play it safe and keep mate permadeath toggled off, but if you want to live the life of a wild wolf, that's what WolfQuest is all about. Try toggling it on and, take your chances. And if worst comes to worst, you just know that there are dispersals wandering around Slough Creek, and they are pretty interested in finding a mate. They missed out on the lottery in the fall, and that's even if that means becoming a step-parent to your pups. Because that's true for wolves, unlike lions, where the male lion will kill all the cubs if he's able to take over a pride. Wolves, I guess, see things differently. And it's been documented that a new mate joining a pack will become the step-parent. I guess a good pack is hard to find, and they must figure they'll get their chance next year. So currently in the game, if your mate dies in Slough Creek, that's the end of the game. But now with a new patch coming out, 106G, which is in public beta now and should be out within a few days, if your mate dies, you can go on alone if you really feel up for it, or you can take a little time out and go look for a dispersal, have some courtship. It's kind of abbreviated because you've got pups back there waiting for you, but get yourself a new mate and bring them back home to meet the pups.